There are just certain design choices that were made for these robots that we don't fully understand.
She can dance. She can sing. She's equipped with a built-in helium tank for inflating balloons right at her fingertips. She can take song requests. She can even dispense ice cream.
With all due respect, those aren't the design choices we were curious about, Mr. Afton.
What did he mean by this? What design choices did Afton make that caused this exchange with the man in charge? And why did he include them? Stay tuned as we reveal the secret purpose of the Five Nights at Freddy's sister location. Back with another game that we are led to believe takes place in the before-mentioned sister location, but with an unknown maintenance man who the game cheekily names Eggs Benedict.
Welcome, Eggs Benedict.
We are expected to once again spend 5 nights in a building that any sane man would avoid.
It's a strange thing to want to do, to come here. I'm curious what events would lead a person to want to spend their nights in a place like this, willingly.
On your first playthrough, you might not notice much. There is very little in the way of hidden content, and the game itself, while different from previous games, still seems quite linear, with the only obvious secrets of the cupcake minigame and the hidden night for the fake ending. Doesn't look like much, does it? Well, think again. Like every night previously spent, there is much more detail than your average eye might detect. First, let's start with the obvious. In the hidden night, where we struggle against the clock to prevent Ennard from scooping us, we are presented with a keypad, seemingly the only one in the game that actually allows us to enter numbers. Entering 1983 gives us our first big reveal, where we see the TV screen shows the bedroom, hall, and other locations from Five Nights at Freddy's 4. The problem? The code 1983 would imply that this game takes place in the year 1983, and also that Five Nights at Freddy's 4 takes place in 1983. If this is true, then the byte we see in Five Nights at Freddy's 4 couldn't be the byte of 87. This little code has thrown the majority of theories completely out the window, if indeed it is true, but confirms my chomp of 83 theory that I mentioned in my previous Five Nights at Freddy's 4 theory video. Now, while you may say that this code doesn't necessarily mean the year has to be 1983, it does show us one undeniable thing about the two games, that they take place at more or less the same time, and more or less the same place. Need more convincing? Look at the plush bear on the desk. Notice something? It seems to be holding a radio. And what do we see in Five Nights at Freddy's 4? Our supposed psychic friend Fredbear talking to us constantly throughout the game and watching us with his silver eyes. Many suggested that this is because he was possessed, but with what we have just learned, it is much more likely that the bear has a radio receiver and the moving eyes are part of a hidden camera system that is watching this child. But it goes deeper than that, quite literally. Remember how the start of Sister Location takes place underground? Every night we are seen descending into the horrifying depths of our minimum wage, butter rewarding night shift.
Thank you for selecting Exotic Butters.
Take a closer look at the maintenance panel we use to reboot the system in one of the nights. But look at the rooms that are not a part of the Sister Location game. Seem familiar? They should. That's the layout we play in during the mini-games and main game for Five Nights at Freddy's 4, suggesting that we are in the very same place, just below ground. In blueprints, we often see different levels grayed out or faded to show that it is above or below the current floor, and from the beginning of every night we know that we are already below ground. The building even looks like it's connected to the house that the boy lives in. Not convinced. Remember that pink, broken animatronic in Five Nights at Freddy's 4? We all assumed it was just Mangle from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. But perhaps its sister location's Funtime Foxy. Maybe out for repairs, maybe already scooped, and we're just seeing the external exoskeleton. Who can say? Now that's what we can learn from playing the game itself. But here is something you might not have seen. Hidden away in the game files, we have included blueprints for sister locations animatronics, with some less than reassuring design choices.
There's no doubting what you've achieved on a technical level. These are clearly state-of-the-art. There are just certain design choices that were made for these robots that we don't fully understand. We were hoping that you could shed some light on those.
Amongst the harmless things like collision avoidance and ice cream dispensers, there are the terrifying implications of a parental tracking system, voice synchronization and replay, deter and misdirect. And Freddy even has a tank for storage. What does this mean? It seems all too obvious that these animatronics are designed and built for a nefarious reason: to kidnap children. Imagine it. The animatronics are delivered to parties. Ballora distracts and deters the parents, while Freddy and Foxy mimic the now distracted parents' voices, luring in the children close enough before abducting them. No witnesses. With the captive child remains hidden inside the storage tank, the parents look all over in a futile effort to find him. The unknowing crew picks up and returns the animatronics with a now helpless child back to the underground storage. Foxy, strangely enough, even has something labeled variable scent release. It's unclear what this is, but it has been suggested that it is used to deploy a chemical to put the child to sleep or incapacitate them while placing them inside Freddy's storage tank, such as how you would see chloroform used in a movie. Although it's worth noting that this isn't actually how chloroform works in real life, so please do not try that. This may sound far-fetched, except it makes perfect sense, since in the very game we see on a night we are captured by Foxy and hidden inside a spring suit by Baby.
Shh, be still and quiet. You've been sleeping for quite a while. I think they noticed that you never left the building last night. The cameras were searching for you, but they couldn't find you. I have you hidden too well. I kidnapped you.
It's not even the first time she has done that. In the end of the minigames, we see the unfortunate end to the daughter. But this is not the end of the story. We are left with more questions than answers. First, who is our silent protagonist, Eggs? Others have suggested that since Enard says on the hidden night,
Isn't this why you came here? To be with her again?
Since we know that the girl is Afton's son, so is he the Purple Man? Again, you might think so. Judging by the true end, we see his purple eyes. Seems very neat and convenient, doesn't it? This is a good theory, but I'm not 100% convinced. First, based on the line from the first night.
I don't recognize you. You are new.
And second, from the Five Nights at Freddy's book itself. Silver eyes. Silver, not purple. These games have been very consistent with color in text and eyes, giving us many hints to the story. So this seems like Scott is trying to misdirect us. He has done this much too many times for us to just take some purple eyes, if you'll excuse the phrase, at face value. And what is the meaning behind the fake ending? Is there no meaning at all? One thing the ending confirms is that Enard found the hidden path that leads into the house. And since we stay in that house, we know that this person is the father of the boy that gets chomped in Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Or did he just buy the house after the boy's death? This may make sense since we see the house is empty in the cameras, the boy already passing on to the next world. Certainly, there is a girl's room in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, which could belong to the girl that gets taken by Baby in the cupcake minigame. Again, this could be Scott's clever misdirection. Something we never learned from Five Nights at Freddy's 4 was what was in the box. Unfortunately, we have no clues here, or will we? No one has discovered how to access the blueprints in the game. Only through extracting the game files were these found. Could there be more games to come? Updates which allow us to access these files? Possibly. In fact, Scott has already announced a custom night for Sister Location coming soon. If the previous games are anything to go on, this will include a new 20-20-20 mode, or the hardest setting, and in the past, these have revealed new plot information. I would have to hand it to Scott, release the game, then update it with new information after everyone's already released their theories, only to laugh at them once again, as he did with the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 Halloween update and the Balloon Boy fiasco replacing Plush Trap being canon. Which means that unfortunately our story isn't done here. Confirmation of who is the Purple Man, the still unknown fate of Springtrap from Five Nights at Freddy's 3, these questions will have to be answered in the next video. Some secrets are best left hidden, for now, but not forever. Thank you for watching. If you liked this and would like to see more content in the future, please be sure to subscribe and like this video. I'll be checking back in a few days to see how it's received, and if you guys really like it, then I'll probably make another one. If you agree with this theory and want to add details, please tell me in the comments below and share it with your friends. Or, did you think I got everything wrong? Tell me where I messed up. I hope you had a great Halloween. And again, thank you for watching.